Hey everybody, my name is Dr. Sean Price, clinical director here at Chiro Spa, and just got done a few minutes ago shooting a video about the basic breakdown of the metabolic process, and went out and had another conversation with another patient and thought I'd shoot another video to explain this. So the last patient I was talking to was having a lot of hormonal issues. And the patient was under, her hormones were out of balance. She's having a hard time getting pregnant. She just doesn't feel good. She's, just a lot of hormone-based symptoms. And she's also under a lot of stress. So I was explaining to her how the adrenal glands are involved in the stress response and how they can affect the hormones. So I wanted to shoot a video and I wanted to explain this to you guys. So the adrenal glands are our stress glands. In nature, the way it's designed is if you see a bear in the woods and that bear starts charging you, your adrenal glands release epinephrine, norepinephrine, cortisol. They release all these hormones into the body so your body can prepare to either fight or run. It's called the fight or flight response. Now that same response happens if you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off and it makes you really, really mad, or if you're really, really stressed out at work, or if you have family stress, or if you have money stress. All these different stressors in the body have the same effect on the body. They cause the release of these adrenal hormones. And what will happen is if you're in chronic stress, that your adrenal glands are chronically firing and chronically releasing these hormones. As time goes on, if that stress is not managed or under control, the demand for the adrenal glands is still there, but as the adrenals start to fatigue, they can't keep up with the production of especially cortisol to fill the demands of what the body's putting on it. So you start getting into adrenal exhaustion. Okay, so the first thing to note is chronic stress can lead to adrenal exhaustion. So when you start having adrenal exhaustion, what will happen is your cortisol levels will start to drop. Okay, now that stress response is a life-sustaining, life necessity. The body has to have it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how that can fit into the hormone pathway. Now granted, this is a very simplistic pathway. I'm skipping a lot of intermediary steps, but this is just a good basic explanation. So your liver, assuming your liver is healthy and assuming everything is going well, produces cholesterol. Okay, yes, cholesterol is a good thing in the body. Too much can be an issue, but that's a whole other video. But cholesterol is critical to a lot of functions in the body. And one of those functions is the formation of hormones. Okay, so cholesterol is converted in the body to pregnenolone. Now, pregnenolone is what we call a rate-limiting step in the body. Basically, the body will only make so much pregnenolone, and that way it can control everything that happens downstream. So for the purposes of this example, I'm going to say that the body makes 16 units of pregnenolone. Okay, that is not a lab value. That is not a real number. I'm just using that number for an example. So in a balanced hormonal system, again in the simplistic system, in a balanced hormonal system, you would have this pregnenolone would convert into 4 units of cortisol, 4 units of progesterone, 4 units of testosterone, and 4 units of estrogen. Okay, we don't talk about DHEA because it's an intermediary. Okay, so in a balanced system, the body would make 16 units of pregnenolone, which would then be distributed to cortisol, progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone in a perfect world. Okay, now getting back to the chronic stress and the adrenal fatigue, if the adrenal glands cannot keep up with the demands of what's being put on them, then this cortisol level will drop. And what will happen, because that's a life-sustaining necessity in the body, well, what will happen is this pregnenolone will start being siphoned. It's what we call a cortisol steal. And it'll start taking the resources to try to get these cortisol levels back up to normal. Okay, so that chronic stress is there, the body's siphoning these resources to try to build that cortisol level back up. And what that'll do is that it takes away from progesterone, takes away from estrogen, takes away from testosterone. So now you start having hormonal imbalances because of chronic stress. Now let's take this a step further. Let's say that you wear a lot of makeup, or you like your perfumes that have estrogens or estrogen precursors in them. Let's say that you eat soy because you've heard that it's a health food, or you drink soy milk because you've heard that it's healthier than cow's milk. All of these things are what we call exogenous estrogen or exogenous estrogen precursors. And what happens is they cause a rise in estrogen. Well, if you're at the same time getting this rise in estrogen, but you have this cortisol steal going on, so you don't have the testosterone and the progesterone to oppose that estrogen. Now you've moved into estrogen dominance, and that can have a whole host of other problems for your body. Excuse me. It's the liver's job to clear out these excess hormones, and if your liver is having issues, then that may not happen. So it's a very convoluted system, but stress has a huge factor. Your liver function has a huge factor. If you're on statin drugs and your cholesterol levels are getting too low because of cholesterol drugs, cholesterol lowering medication, this could have a huge factor. There are a lot of things that can be involved in hormone imbalances, and you have to determine those through functional medicine testing, or what we call metabolic testing. And that's what we do with our brain-based functional nutrition programs, is we do the tests, we figure out where the imbalances are, and then we go in there and we correct them. And I'll give you an example of what's possible. Had a patient, she was a patient of mine about 9 months ago, did very, very well with care. We were treating her for some sugar handling issues, adrenal issues, and a little bit of a thyroid issue, and had no idea that she was trying to get pregnant. That never came up in her history, never came up in conversation. But apparently she had been trying to get pregnant for 2 or 3 years and was unable to do it. We balanced everything out. We got her sugar under control. We got her adrenal glands back online, got them functioning again, got all of her body systems functioning. She did extremely well with care. Well, she emailed me about a month ago, or a couple months ago, and she said that she was pregnant. And I'm like, well, that's wonderful. And that's when she told me that she had been having difficulty getting pregnant. So just by balancing her other systems, her hormonal system came into balance and her body went back into normal function. Now, what's really cool about it is she emailed me again later and informed me that she was pregnant with twins. So she was very, very, very happy. So just a little bit of a thought about what can happen when you start balancing the body. And that's what we do with our brain-based functional nutrition programs. So I hope this information is useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.